benvenuti al bellissimo stadio di Wembley a Londra, che ospiterà domani la finalissima tra i vincitori del Euro 2020 Italia e i vincitori della CONMEBOL Coppa America 2021 Argentina. Siamo felici di avere qua l'Italia, due campioni d'Europa che hanno vinto il trofeo l'anno scorso in questo stadio. Abbiamo Leonardo Bonucci e Insigne a vostra posizione per ogni domanda, quindi tutto sarà tradotto in simultanea, in italiano, spagnolo e inglese, e quindi aspettate che vi arrivi il microfono, presentatevi e poi, sì, siamo pronti per partire. Paolo Corbi? Bene, possiamo partire. Alzate la mano per le domande.
Good afternoon. A question for both of you. In an interview yesterday with Leo Messi, he mentioned what a shame it is that with Italy's history, the team won't be in Qatar at the end of the year, and the demands tomorrow will be similar to a World Cup match, but he can't understand the fact that Italy won't be playing at the World Cup. Is that something you are now over, or are you still looking ahead to when you next get to play at a World Cup?
Well, since the World Cup will be played in a few months, well, this is still an open wound for us. We committed too many mistakes, leading us to fail to qualify for Qatar in November, and obviously the fault is ours, because it only took just a few to be able to do something unique in our football career and in the history of the nation. But we would like to thank Lionel Messi for the good words he used for us, and tomorrow, as he said, it will be a World Cup.
A question. You've got a tattoo of Diego Maradona. How do you feel to be playing in a new competition here between two national teams, the European champions, South American champions, considering that Maradona played in Mar del Plata in such a game in the 80s. Well, how does it feel to face Leo Messi, and how does he compare with other players that you face?
I have Maradona on my skin because I'm a great Napoli supporter, and for us Neapolitans he did a lot, so it was great to honor his death this way, and I believe that tomorrow we will lift this trophy, so that after Maradona in Naples I have lifted this trophy, but for us Neapolitans, Maradona was an icon, so he brought us on top of the world and we will always be grateful to him. Well, I had the luck, or misfortune to meet Leo Messi on the pitch several times, and well, he is a very victorious player. He won many golden balls, so it is very hard to add adjectives to his greatness. So he was, and he is still one of the greatest players, together with Cristiano Ronaldo, and therefore, you know, we must respect him on the pitch, and we need to be ready as a team to stop Messi and Argentina. So Leonardo, yesterday Giorgio Chiellini said, well, anyone has their own way of being, and also their own way to be captain. Leonardo and I are different, but he will be a great captain as I was. So in which do you think you'll be different from Giorgio Chiellini as a captain, and in which would you be similar to him? Well, I believe that each one of us must be themselves. And well, what I learned from Giorgio is that he is very capable to process hard situation in a very short time and to provide a solution. So that's where he always managed to do better than me, because I'm very impulsive, I'm very instinctive, so I usually react excessively, and sometimes I react rightly, but that was the secret that made Giorgio a great player and a great captain and a great person. So as far as I'm concerned, I'll try to smooth off my defects, my shortcomings, my behavioral shortcomings, but I will also need my teammates to help me, as we helped Giorgio and Gigi Buffon when they were the national team captains, because in the end what makes you win is the team, it's not the captain. Good evening. So a question for the both of you. I like to see a great sunshine day, but in a moment it was made sad by a huge storm from Wembley to Wembley. So you won the European Championship here, then tomorrow you have the chance to start over for a new cycle. Thank you very much. Well, yes, we wrote history in this stadium, so we gave a great emotion to all Italians, and tomorrow it will be a very important match for us in order to start over again and to bring back Italy where it deserves and where we always were. So good evening everybody. I'm Giorgio Celi from Sky Sports. So Bonucci, last time you were here you scored a goal in the final. Have you thought about it when you entered the Wembley Stadium? And what's the feeling that you are one goal away from history? Because the greatest scoring defender in the national team is Cabrini, who scored one goal more than you. Well, I'm just emotional answering your questions, so to forget about that goal is very hard for me, and I think it would be impossible for the rest of my life. So I'm not thinking about it today. I haven't thought just today when I entered the Wembley Stadium, but I often think about it. That goal allowed us to get to the penalty shootout and to score another goal on the penalty during the penalty shootout. So it's a very emotional feeling for me. But then football puts you in front of reality, and reality, you can't live on your memories, but you need to keep growing, to keep improving, you need to keep striving for more. And you know, the fact that they can be the defender with most goal scores in the national team is another input for me. Thank you very much. Hello, Leonardo. I wanted to ask you, so since the goal is to start over, the league has ended, so in your opinion, will this help Mancini and the national team? Also due to the fact that AC Milan won, that many young players are now playing in the Serie A. Well, obviously, what the manager did in this pre-training camp is very important. So he opened the door of the national team to many youngsters who have the qualities to become stronger and to become points of reference for the future of the national team and for the big clubs of Italy. Obviously, this is not the only things that count. What matters is that clubs must take responsibility to make Italian youngsters play who can then play for the national team. Because this is the only way for the youngsters to grow, to play football, to make experience, to learn from their mistakes, as everybody did. When I was 22, when I started playing the Serie A, I didn't play perfect games, but I learned from my mistakes. So this will be useful for everybody, for Italian football, for Italian clubs, for the youngsters, to take the pitch once in 3 days in order to improve the technical and moral qualities of everybody.
A question for both of you. What do you make of Argentina at the moment? The team is unbeaten in 21 games, but hasn't faced many European sides in that time, mostly against South American teams and teams from other continents. Despite the importance of this game, what have you made of Argentina overall? What do you know about them? Thank you.
Well, Argentina are one of the best national teams in the world. They did 31 matches without losing. So that's very important, and this is very important because regardless of the teams you're facing, you need to win or to achieve a result, and that's not to be given for granted. So it is very rarely for in the history of football to have this winning streak as we did and as Argentina is doing. So you need to be very much compromised, you need to be very respectful, you need to be very aggressive to win this trophy, because as we said, from this trophy we need to start over and to set the basis to bring back Italy where it deserves and where it was 1 year ago. Lorenzo, a question for you. So your world is going to change even geographically from all perspectives. So a couple of questions for you. Have you talked about it with Mancini? Are you available to travel a lot, and is he available to involve you? And since you've been playing in the national team for many years, Donnarumma, Bastoni, other young players who surprised you, if you look at our Serie A, like Tonali. Well, talking about my experience, yes, manager, at first, well, I talked to him, but before the final round of World Cup qualification. So, but I'm always available to travel, and he will make his call-ups, and I will accept them. So as long as I can do it, I'll always be available, and I will always come, and I will always give everything for this national team. Well, we have Donnarumma, Bastoni, and other great players like Sandro Tonali and others. So it's up to them to be consistent in the clubs, to grow, and the manager will give them the opportunity, as he did to other youngsters with these call-ups. And if they're good and if they deserve, he is courageous enough to launch more players. Well, it's a great pleasure for me to be here. It's a great pleasure normally to be here because Wembley is a fantastic stadium, but most of all for us, because a year ago we were here celebrating as European champions, so we are very emotional remembering those moments. Roberto, the emotions, 1 year later, you coming here to Wembley, so what are your memories, and whether memories can mitigate, you know, the disappointment? Well, not much, because it is nice to play this match because, well, Italy-Argentina is one of the classic games of world football. We're playing against a great national team. It will be a great match. And it's a great tribute to many players, and tomorrow like Giorgio, who will leave the national team, and I think that other Argentinian players are soon to leave the national team. So it's great. It will be a great match and a great emotion. Nato Bonucci said it will be a great match and we will give a great show. Do you think that this national team can provide a great show? Well, like the show that we saw a year ago. Well, I think so. Yes. Even though we are lacking many players, and we are sorry about that, because I wish to have everybody available here, because they deserved it. But we are going to play a great match, I believe.
You're missing two players tomorrow, Federico Chiesa and Ciro Immobile. How would you like the team to cope with those absences against Argentina? And the team is 31 games unbeaten and has been very solid and has a regular defence that tends to play. So how will you cope without Chiesa and Immobile?
As I said, we are sorry that we don't have Chiesa, Immobile, or Verratti, who is not 100% okay, Berardi, so we are missing many players that are very important for us, but I'm sure that those that will go on the pitch will play a great game. Argentina is a great national team, but we are also a great national team, so the ones that are going to get on the pitch will play a great match, and then the best team will win. Roberto, you always said that in order to win, all systems are great. And then you cannot play football in just one way. So the latest games that awarded continental trophies made us understand that probably by being balanced and cautious and making the most of the qualities of your players, you can win a trophy even though you don't start as the favorite. Well, is it something that made you think, so for example, if you saw Ancelotti winning the Champions League against Liverpool, or do you still think that you still need the initiative to win the games? Well, I think that if a team is great and has initiatives, they have more possibilities to win. But then in football, you can't win in all ways, in all modules, so you don't always win. And probably the beauty of football lies there. Sometimes a team that is not deserving to win wins anyway. So, but that's my philosophy. If a team can, dictate the tempo in the game, they have more possibility to win. But then games that you quoted were games between great teams, and anybody could win those games. Nosotti, Sky Sports 24. Hello, everybody. So, in this context, you were defined as a visionary. So, a very bold man who had a vision, and you confirmed it. Now, what is the other vision that you have for your national team? What do you want to start from here? And what do you think that? And do you think that there will be huge changes to do in the future? So, do you have new names in your mind for another national team? But what has the new national team have to have in your mind? Well, tomorrow is the end of the cycle. But this does not entail the exclusion of 15 or 20 players that I have right now in my roster. And then in Wednesday game we will change something. We will phase in some new youngsters because we need younger players to play, because we need them to show the value, and then they'll have time to see the value for the new qualification to the European Championship. So we need them to play and to show their worth.
I'd like to ask you about tomorrow's game. What is Argentina's biggest strength? A player who you coached and is now doing very well, Sergio Kun Agüero, has now stopped playing, and it's 10 years since his goal for Man City. What's your message for him? And what is Argentina's strength?
Well, talking about Sergio, great hug to him, because, well, I signed him to Manchester City 10 years ago, and I know him very well. I'm very sorry about what happened to him. He is very young and he had to quit playing. I'm very sorry about it. It was one of the greatest. It was one of the greatest forwards. So I wish him a great life in the future. And talking about Argentina, he's a great national team full of great champions. He's playing a very great technical football, so it won't be simple to play against them. And I'm very curious about it to see tomorrow's game. Hello, Roberto. Well, unfortunately, this is the second rebuilding for you. Nobody expected that. So I wanted to ask you, what is the tactic that you're going to use to form your group? Talking about the motivational. So this year made you change something in the approach with the players, since they are going to play, but in order to motivate them and to rebuild a group that brought us here a year ago? Well, we'll see that we need to pick the players with logical criterion, so to have quality players, because in the end I believe that to have fun, it will be important to have technique and quality, but then we need to provide courage, because there will be younger players compared to the ones that we had 4 years ago, and to support them in a different way, because they need it. I think that that's a good thing to do. And there's the curiosity whether to see if we are quick to rebuild the team in just a short time, because in football you never have time from here to the end of the year, and then we have the beginning of the European qualifiers. So we'll try to do things properly. Hi, Roberto. tomorrow we'll be talking about a match for those who won the European Championship. So for the first time, you won't have the pair of forwards, so Immobile is injured, but so how did you see him? He's out of a contract, so he's calm. So what do you think about it? So I saw him very good, so I'm very calm, and all the lads are very calm and serene. So he's going to play because he's the second forward of the European Championship. He'll play from the start, so now I hope that he'll play a great game, and I don't think he won't have problems with the fact that he's on an expiring contract, so he's very young and he can still do a lot.
You've been asked about Messi, but there will be a tribute to Maradona tomorrow. I don't know if that will be particularly triggering for you, but it certainly will be for the Argentine fans.
As I just mentioned, I had the luck of playing with Maradona for many years, so it was a great honor for us, for us players and Italians, to be able to see Maradona each Sunday in Italy, for example, especially for the Neapolitans. So it would be very emotional for us for this reason, because Diego, it's a great story that Diego's no longer with us, so it would be a very emotional moment to remember Maradona tomorrow. Roberto, you just said that since Wednesday we will field some youngsters, so tomorrow you will use your 5 substitutions for players who were part of the European Championships group. Well, it's 21 out of 26 were in the European Championships. Depends on where we will need. For example, for the forwards, we have Scamacca, Raspadori, so we don't have many choices, or Belotti. So if we need to change something in the forwards, we'll change something there. But whether this is possible, yes. So you are making us understand that this Nations League will be used by you as a test to get then to achieve the objective of the European qualifiers. Then we have the nightmare of the ranking, because National Leagues is valid for the ranking. Well, the ranking is something random, because you never know what is purpose used what. But for the European qualifiers is important, because you are in the first. Well, if you're in the first range, it's useful. But is it something that you're giving priority to your need to test? Well, we are not going to change the whole squad, but in the 4 Nations League games, probably 1 or 2 or 3 young players will be put in the field. But we are going to do something. Obviously, we are not playing to lose. We always play to win, even if we change 3 players and we put 3 youngers who are unexperienced. But They have good legs, good head, good heart, they have quality, so we can still play very well. Good evening, Roberto. I wanted to ask you, well, you said that this match will be the end of the cycle. Then a new window will open, so I'm asking you, do you expect the system to help you more, to support you, that you have no problems to have an extra day to prepare games as you wish, as you would have needed before the playoffs with North Macedonia and then with the winner of the other match? So do you expect the clubs to give more confidence to the youngsters? Because I see the transfer market, we have many players over 30 years of age who come very tired from other leagues and they are taken as great champions. But when you need to call up players, you don't have much choice. So what is your opinion on that? Well, we are trying to work for the future and to do the best things that are possible for the future. Then, you know, when we talk about the clubs who are making Italian players play or not, well, I'm not the one deciding. Everybody makes their own choices. So we hope to have more youngsters that have possibility to play, and this will give us more choice and more chances to pick the right players. But, you know, regardless of everything, we need to do things properly, as we think we've been doing in these years, hoping that the percentage of Italian players should increase rather than drop. But we cannot, you know, force anybody to make the youngster play if they don't want to do it. So we need to think about our job, and throughout the year we need the possibility to see more youngsters. But, you know, yes, but also to hope that the system to help you. What do I mean? Yes, to discuss on 2 or 3 more extra working days, that the system understands that the national team is not only not only worthy when it's winning. They need to do a continuous support work. Well, everybody must work in the same direction, that's for sure, but everybody will work towards their own interest. That's life in all jobs, even though sometimes it's not as right, but we managed to win a European Championship regardless of difficulties. We'll try to rebuild a team that can win the World Cup. We'll try and make the things the best way possible.